Biden's cognitive decline to Nancy Pelosi. So much so that she never had Biden engage with the House Democrat caucus again on legislation.
Hey, welcome in. We are ready to begin a Wednesday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Glad to have you along. And a lot to get to with Kamala Harris, a lot to get to with Benjamin Netanyahu's visit to Washington, D.C., and lots of other things, including a possible cyber attack on the city of Columbus. So thanks for joining us. I'll be with you soon. I hear the music playing right now. There are Democratic politicians who could walk the tightrope that Kamala Harris now has to walk as the presumptive, almost certain Democratic nominee in the aftermath of Joe Biden dropping out of the race. She has never shown the political nimble skills that it would require. Barack Obama could do it. Nancy Pelosi could do it. I'm sure there are others who could do it. Sherrod Brown's been pretty effective at lying and keeping his job for 50 years in government, but Kamala Harris has never shown the ability to do it. Now, she won't have to do it alone, of course, because she will have the undivided support of the nation's media, Hollywood, and all the institutions that have told us that Joe Biden is heroic for dropping out of the race because he got his butt kicked so bad in the June 27th debate. That is where we begin a Wednesday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. What do I mean by the tightrope that Kamala Harris has to navigate? Well, she's a California liberal, left of Joe Biden, who today, instead of being in Congress when Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, addresses Congress, will be at a sorority sisters meeting. Kamala's sorority, does anybody know what sorority? Oh, I know. I am a stupid. That's her sorority. But this is not a wise political move. And you can say, well, you're a partisan, Bruce. Of course, you don't think it's a wise political move. You hate Kamala Harris to the point where, much like Barack Obama, every time she talks on camera, you have to hit the mute button on your TV because you just can't listen to her. And I said that to a colleague today here at 989 The Answer. I said, why is it that I just can't even stand the sound of her voice? And he said, because you feel like you're listening to Satan talk? And I was like, probably too strong to put it that way, but there are places I've been in my life, towns I've driven through. I get this feeling when I'm in New Orleans. I've been to New Orleans on business in my career probably 3, 4, 5 times. And there was a time where I was there for 8 days for a Sugar Bowl. Ohio State was playing, I think, Florida State in this particular occasion. And the city just literally stinks in New Orleans. And when I'm there, I just feel like this presence of evil. And so the Superdome where Ohio State played was right next to the hotel where I stayed, the Hyatt Hotel. And I guess I can say this now because we're way past the point of my former bosses complaining about it. I rented a car. I drove to the hotel. I parked the car. The next time I got in the car was on the day after the game, 8 days later, when I left for the airport, because I didn't want to go out of the hotel. I ate every meal in the hotel. I didn't go to any place on Bourbon Street. I didn't want to be around the evil in that town. And that same kind of feeling comes over me when Kamala Harris comes on TV, because she is, as I said the other day, the intersection of the Venn diagram that she loves so much between insincerity, incompetence, and insufferability. Now, you could also say she's inarticulate, and she is. She is a vapid word salad of stupid. She is the epitome of a DEI hire. She got the job as vice president after calling the guy who picked her a racist, which, that's kind of a neat trick. How do you overcome that? Well, you are the only black woman who is a reasonable, positive addition to the ticket, although she's added nothing to the ticket. And the beauty of this tightrope she has to walk is that because she was put on the ticket solely for her race and her sex, they branded every single thing they did in the Biden administration not as the Biden administration, but as the Biden-Harris administration. And Joe Biden, because he's suffering from senility, often introduced her as the president. Now, there's no way she was actually making decisions. I don't really think there was a way Joe Biden was making decisions. But she now has to run away from the policies of the Biden-Harris administration. She has to navigate the difficulty of Jewish voters have traditionally voted Democrat. I used to work with a guy who was a flaming New York liberal, all in on Democratic policies. And I used to think, Democrats hate Jews. Has it ever been more evident that Democrats hate Jews than since Hamas invaded Israel on October the 7th? And can anybody explain to me why Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Pramila Jayapal, and I think at least 30 other elected Democrats are skipping Benjamin Netanyahu's address before Congress today? I think I'm right on this. In fact, I know I'm right on this. Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. The guardians, the stewards, the vanguards of democracy, the Democratic Party, which they have lied to us about them being for the last 4 years, are skipping a speech in Congress from an ally, the only democracy in the Middle East. Why? Because they support non-democracies in the Middle East, Arab states, and the most radical of the Arab states is, Palestine's not really a state, Palestine, Gaza, Hamas, Hezbollah. Saw the campus protests this year, a precursor of what you're going to see in Chicago in the convention in less than a month when Democrats congregate there. And Kamala Harris has chosen her side today, not going to hear Benjamin Netanyahu. And then you're going to hear, oh, but she met with him privately at the White House tomorrow. Now, this question was put to Mark Penn, Democratic strategist on Fox this morning about Kamala Harris's strengths. You'll hear Dana Perino and Bill Hemmer on this clip as well, but Penn eventually gets himself around to the topic of Harris not appearing in Congress today, where she would have to do something when Netanyahu speaks. She'd have to applaud. She'd have to not applaud. She'd have to take a stand. Again, remember, Venn diagram, insincerity. What does she stand for? That's the tightrope she has to walk. That's the tightrope I believe she's incapable of walking. And thank goodness the Democrats in the state of Ohio last night threw their support to Kamala Harris. And it appears she has locked up the nomination, because my fear all along was she'd show herself within a week or 2 or 3 before the convention of how badly she's going to do as their candidate at the top of the ticket. And then they would dump her in the convention. But if she has the delegates pledged to her, I don't even think they can. Although, never underestimate how deep the Obama knife can be plunged into the back of a leading Democrat by Pelosi, Schumer, and other Democrats. But here's Mark Penn talking about what's appealing to Democratic voters about Kamala Harris and the mistakes she's making today.
I think she's got to reach out to Hispanic voters. I think that she's going to do very, very well with Black voters. I think she's going to do very well with white progressives and liberals. And
what about Jewish voters?
I think today's a big mistake. She should be going to hear Netanyahu. They are an ally, and they are under attack by the Houthis, by Hezbollah, by Hamas. She should not be skipping this by any means.
She is.
Yes, she is skipping it. Because, have you heard the latest Kamala remake effort? All the stupid things she said, all the inedible word salads that she has uttered. It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Those kinds of comments from Kamala Harris now are being branded on TikTok as her being the very cool whine aunt, not whine aunt, even though when she talks in her nasal tone, she is a whiner. No, the wine aunt, which when you look it up, it's like, oh, the wine aunt, W-I-N-E, is the cool aunt you like to get drunk with, who's a little bit goofy and says stupid things. Are those qualities we've typically treasured in an American presidential candidate? Somebody who's goofy, someone you'd like to get drunk with? I guess I'm old-fashioned. I guess I'm out of vogue with what appeals to the modern voter, but I would like somebody who, call me crazy, projects strength, on the world stage, has insight into economic policies that'll benefit middle-class Americans, of which I am one, and you probably are too. Someone who understands the safety and security of our nation is not just at peril from China and Russia, but from invaders on our southern border. Someone who understands that strength comes with domestic energy independence. That's what I would treasure in a leader. But, I guess, getting drunk with your crazy aunt, that might appeal to some people. Maybe those who just fell out of a coconut tree, as Kamala Harris is so fond of saying. So we will see whether Kamala Harris can navigate this tightrope. She also will have to figure out a way to Nick Walenda herself out of previously saying that she would like to get rid of private health insurance and put you all on government health insurance. Did you see the study that came out the other day? That Americans are spending more on health insurance now than they ever have before. Wait a minute. I thought Obamacare was supposed to fix all that. No. What we knew at the time, those of us who were Republicans, was that it was an epic failure and that it would raise everyone's costs. And that, in fact, has been proven true. Kamala will have to somehow tightrope away from that one as well.
Humid, a blend of sunny clouds, thunderstorm around this afternoon, high 87. A thunderstorm possible this evening, otherwise clouds and humid tonight, low 66. Thunderstorm in spots tomorrow morning, otherwise cloudy, high 84. And then sunny, pleasant, nice day Friday, less humid, the high at 82. Sunshine, terrific day on Saturday, high 86. Sun and clouds on Sunday, high Sunday at 86. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
You'll sleep better knowing you got a great deal on a great mattress because you got it from Mac Mattress Outlet and the Discount Shopping Club. Right now, get a $500 certificate from Mac Mattress Outlet for any mattress purchase for only $250. These certificates go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. For details, log on to the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com. Mattress Outlet.
Who are the people that serve part-time in the Ohio Army National Guard? We are your neighbors and friends. We are your sons and daughters. Our service is providing us valuable job skills, and it pays up to 100% of our tuition. We're proud to serve our state. We are your Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with the Ohio Army National Guard at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
One service that's in tune with your needs. It's time to get the kitchen of your dreams.
Herself a radical, and she's promoting policies like saying that every single carbon emission in the country, every car, should be eliminated within the next 11 years.
Challenging the status quo
Left could splinter your party.
No, I think
Twitter followers than Nancy Pelosi. She's on 60 Minutes this weekend, proudly calling herself a radical. And she's promoting policies like saying that every single carbon emission in the country, every car, should be eliminated within the next 11 years, everything from a 70 to 80% tax rate. Do you agree that she could possibly, in this ideology of the socialist left, could splinter your party?
No, I think that she is.
By the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real. And I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're a business owner and a listener to The Answer, you might not realize that the conservative news and talk content that you enjoy is advertiser supported. Our loyal audience loves to do business with the advertisers who make our programming possible. Now, it probably won't surprise you that there are some advertisers who avoid the answer because they don't like what we do here. That's their loss because our listeners are eager to support advertisers who support our conservative programming. To learn how to reach our audience with your business's message and support this station, please contact me at 614-318-0401 or click on How to Advertise at 989theanswer.com. That's 989theanswer.com. And remember, when you advertise on 989 The Answer, our loyal audience know that you care about our programming as much as they do.
Yeah, I'll second that. I mean, look, if you're an advertiser and you're worried about, oh man, I might anger the Democrats. The Democrats aren't listening to this station. And besides, they'd hear the truth if so. So I would love to advocate for your business, as Carolyn just pointed out. I love advocating for patriotswitch.com. Why? Because A, it's a business that shares my values, and B, it's a business that makes a difference. How does it make a difference? Well, number one, it strikes a blow against woke capitalism. If you remember, during the pandemic, all the little shops were closed, and the Targets and the Walmarts and the big box stores, they were allowed to stay open. Now, why would that be? Oh, right, because they write big checks to Planned Parenthood, to the Human Rights Commission, to woke causes that you do not support. Patriot Switch, think of it, the store and the manufacturer are exactly the same. It's an online store. And you can buy their products. You don't have to be a member. But if you become a member, $1 membership for an annual membership from now to the end of the month, then you get a 35 to 50% discount. If it sounds appealing to you, the 450 plus products they make are things you're already buying, like mouthwash and toothpaste and on and on and on and on. Then go to patriotswitch.com/Bruce, patriotswitch.com/Bruce. FBI Director Chris Wray in front of Congress this morning, 45 minutes questioning. Then they had a vote that they called, and so they adjourned. So Chris Wray will be back. He's giving more answers than Kim Cheatle did the other day, the ex-director now of the Secret Service. While I was gone yesterday, medical appointments, everything checked out fine. Sorry, Democrats, not getting rid of me anytime soon. The MRI came out fine. The oncology visit came out fine. Kim Cheatle resigned. Now, it has been said that Kim Cheatle is incompetent because she allowed a 20-year-old kid to get on the roof of a building within 150 yards of Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, coming up on 2 weeks ago Saturday. I don't think Kim Cheatle is completely incompetent. She succeeded in doing something that I have not seen really anybody do in the last 4 years, and that is she got Jamie Raskin, congressman from New York, and James Comer, congressman from Kentucky, to agree on something. And that agreement was that Kim Cheatle was incompetent and should resign. Even Ro Khanna from California was on board that she should resign. And so she did resign, and now we'll see where we go from here. Trey Gowdy, who was my pick in a second Trump administration to be the Attorney General of the United States, Trey Gowdy has thoughts on the FBI being charged with investigating the shooting. He has some of the same questions that I do when it comes to the FBI's ability to conduct such an investigation.
As it relates to the FBI, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's the same entity that wasted years on Russia. They botched the Dylan Roof background check. They botched USA Gymnastics. They botched Parkland, the high school shooting. So is that really the best group to investigate Secret Service? Is the FBI?
I would add to that the Hunter Biden laptop story, which was endorsed by former FBI directors. The Russia collusion, Peter Strzok, FBI, was a big part of that. Hillary Clinton's bashing of blackberries and bleach bidding it. And then, of course, cocaine at the White House. You say, well, that was on the Secret Service. Well, okay. Well, the FBI could have come in and said, oh, you guys can't figure that out. We can figure it out. No. So Trey Gowdy makes a good point. Do any of us believe, and this is the danger, like how many different organizations that we really need, consequential organizations that we really need, have at least half of America lost complete and total trust in. Center for Disease Controls, that's kind of important. Saw a headline this morning that vaccines among young kids are declining to a precipitously low level, which raises the possibility, and I'm not vouching for this, I'm not saying this is going to happen, because I've lost total faith in the CDC. But the threat apparently is that if you don't vaccinate the percentage of young people that you used to vaccinate, then you could have a comeback of things that we thought were completely eradicated and not a threat anymore. Whose fault is that? No, it's not the fault of parents who say, no, I'm not going in and getting my kid vaccinated. It's the fault of the CDC. It's the fault of Anthony Fauci and Rochelle Walensky and Francis Collins and Deborah Birx and all the others who let us down during the pandemic. Why is it that Chris Wray of the FBI, the Secret Service, Merrick Garland of the Department of Justice, why is it that we don't have any faith in those organizations anymore? I just mentioned about 5 different things. Cocaine at the White House, Hunter Biden laptop story, Hillary Clinton, the lack of equal justice under law. We don't have faith in our institutions. We need to have institutions that are above the fray politically, but we don't anymore because they've made compromises because, oh, Orange Man, bad. Threat to democracy. He might be a fascist. He might be a dictator. No, in fact, he will be a dictator because he said he'll be a dictator on day one. Like, we got him quoted saying that. Yeah, when did you have your sense of humor bone removed? When did you have your sarcasm detector removed? So, yeah, this is just another instance where nobody has any faith in institutions because of the performance or lack of performance of those institutions. Words matter. At least they matter in some things. Let's hope they matter in the upcoming presidential election, because if Donald Trump can steer clear, and it'll be hard because, of course, everything is racist, everything is sexist. If he can steer clear of saying too many things that the majority of Americans agree are sexist and racist, then he should be able to beat Kamala Harris if words indeed matter, because all they really need to do on the Trump side, on RNC research, is let her talk. Not now, because I don't want to hear anything new out of her mouth, because, again, it makes my ears bleed. Just play tape of her in the past. And this is how Trump should go into the debate with her. Did you say this about equity and equality? Is this what you said?
Equality suggests often everybody should get the same thing. Well, that often assumes everybody started out in the same place, as opposed to equity, which is everyone should end up in the same place. And if you then understand not everybody started out in the same place, you understand some people need more. So we all end up in the same place.
So we're not only going to craft a system where meritocracy doesn't matter anymore, we're going to craft a system where we give you more so that in the beginning we take away from somebody so you end up with the same amount in the end. Here's the Law and Order prosecutor, another tightrope she's got to walk, with Stephen Colbert during the riots in 2020. Is this a popular position with the American voters?
I know that there are protests still happening in major cities across the United States. I'm just not seeing the reporting on it that I had
that's right.
for the first few weeks.
That's right. But they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And they're not. This is a movement. I'm telling you, they're not going to stop. And everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not. And we should not.
Shouldn't let up. She's tweeted, if you're able to chip in now, Minnesota Freedom Fund help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota. She posted bail for criminals who destroyed cities, businesses, and got 25 people across the country murdered. Those are her words.
With SRN News, I'm Jeremy House in Washington. FBI Director Christopher Wray is testifying about the Bureau's investigation into the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Lawmakers at a congressional hearing are pressing Wray for fresh details about the gunman's motive and background in the July 13th attack in Butler, Pennsylvania. Hundreds of people have been arrested in a flurry of protests in the nation's capital over the visit of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to Capitol Hill today. Netanyahu is scheduled to address Congress this afternoon and has a Thursday meeting scheduled with President Biden. The European Climate Service Copernicus said Monday broke the previous day's record of the world's hottest day ever. It's yet another heat record that's been shattered in the past couple of years. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 371 points. More details at srnnews.com.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer, anywhere you go. With The Answer's mobile app at 989theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn, or iHeart.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the
FBI, but they may receive information that comes directly to them that didn't come to us.
Sure. Okay. Director, do you believe that former President Trump was a high-risk threat under your assessment?
Well, I believe that former President Trump, really, frankly, like any president or former president, is a very high-profile figure and attracts a lot of, unfortunately, the kind of residents we're talking about.
It's fair to say.
Well, but they may receive information that comes directly to them that didn't come to us.
Sure.
Get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
Are you under the impression that a metal roof costs 2 or 3 times more than a shingle roof? No, it doesn't. Hi, folks. I'm Dan Tolan, owner of The Metal Roof Company. As your foremost metal roofing authority in Central Ohio, I can promise you it's the most inexpensive roof you'll ever buy because it's the last roof you'll ever buy. With lifetime warranties and a variety of financing options, give us a call at 721-ROOF, 721-ROOF, or reach out to us on the web at themetalroofcompany.com.
He's one of the top 10 radio hosts in the country. He never varnishes his opinions. And now more than ever, you need to spend part of your day with a healthy dose of the Mike Gallagher Show. Weekday mornings from 9 to 11 on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
I am headed to my friend Josh's house tonight and my friend Melanie's house. Actually, Josh's house this afternoon, Melanie's house tonight. What am I going to be doing there? You know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be helping them beautify their homes with new flooring. Yes, you need new flooring in your house, new carpet, new LVP, which stands for luxury vinyl plank. Looks like wood, looks like tile, more durable, a whole lot easier to put in. Then go to brucehooley.com and click on the flooring tab in the upper right-hand corner of the page. We have all the major brands you'll find at every single flooring store. What you won't find are a bunch of fancy wrapped vehicles and mid-level management and a lot of things that you as a customer pay for that you're unaware of. What you also won't do is wait 8 weeks, 12 weeks to get your new flooring installed. We will get it done probably inside of a month. So if you'd like to save money and you'd like to get your new flooring faster, go to brucehooley.com, click flooring in the upper right-hand corner of the page. brucehooley.com, flooring, upper right-hand corner of the page. They are back in session in Congress. Darrell Issa, congressman from California, questioning FBI Director Christopher Wray. I don't know if they're talking about something consequential, but let's duck in and give a listen, shall we?
Sure. Okay. Director, do you believe that former President Trump was a high-risk threat under your assessment?
Well, I believe that former President Trump, really, frankly, like any president or former president, is a very high-profile figure and attracts a lot of, unfortunately, the kind of residents we're talking about.
It's
okay. Why can't they just? Can anybody in a big, powerful position in Washington, D.C. answer a yes/no question, yes or no? Do you believe Donald Trump is a high-risk threat? Yes. I believe that. Cheatle was exceedingly immersed in this nonsense the other day. Let's pick that back up.
It's fair to say, not on a scale of 1 to a million with little nuances, but on a scale of 1 to 10, President Trump's risk was very similar to a current president, very similar to, because he was the presumptive nominee and leading in the polls and so on, that he was a high risk by any standard. Is that correct?
Certainly, there's a reason why he has so much protection around him.
Okay.
Unbelievable. Yes is the answer. Yes is the answer. He's high risk. These congressional hearings really don't accomplish much. They really don't. Because the witnesses are uncooperative. And this is basically just a big dog and pony show. Look at us. We're questioning this. We're getting to the bottom of it. No, you're not. You're not getting to the bottom of anything. Trey Gowdy used to be in Congress, got fed up with this kind of nonsense, was talking about this morning on Fox. Even the whole order of the investigation, you bring Cheatle in, you bring Chris Wray in. Would anybody like to hear from the guys on the ground about the communication between local, state, and Secret Service? Would anybody like to hear from the sniper on the roof who took out the shooter? Was he aware the shooter was there before he was authorized to fire and neutralize the threat? This is the point Gowdy's making, that the order of the investigation is upside down.
If you and I were running this investigation, we want the documents before we talk to her. We want to talk to the people on the ground. She's the last person we want to talk to. We want to talk to everyone else first, and then that way we know what to ask her. Congress starts at the top. Real investigations start at the bottom and get the truth.
Yeah, she came the other day. Cheatle came the other day with no documents. There have been all these reports about Trump had requested more security. Secret Service had turned it down. Can we see the paper trail? Can we see the emails? Can we see the transcript of radio communication? Can we see any of that? No, we don't have it. We're still looking. Maybe contact the FBI. So Ray's there today. And the dumbest part of this whole investigation, is, wow, why did this kid want to take a shot at Donald Trump? Why? I have an idea. He wanted to kill him. That's the idea I have. Maybe I'm crazy. So I'm not the only one thinking of this. Trey Gowdy pointing out the same reason in his interview this morning.
I don't care about the why. There is no explanation for shooting a gun at someone's head other than self-defense. I want to know how at someone's head other than self-defense. I want to know how. There is no explanation for shooting a gun at someone's head other than self-defense. I want to know how. And I did it for 20 years. I sat there and labored over the why. There is no why for putting a cigarette out on a kid's face. There is no why for killing someone who did nothing to you. So if we get caught up in the why, then we're going to miss the how. And what I want to know is, do you have a helicopter? Does your agency have a helicopter? Could you have flown over and said, hey, maybe there's a roof we ought to take a look at?
Yeah, he's exactly right. Trey Gaddy, former prosecutor, saying you can get caught up in the why, but the why really doesn't matter. The how. How did he get on the roof? There's chilling video out today. A whistleblower submitted it to Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley, where the shooter is on the roof and people outside the perimeter. By the way, nobody asked her the other day, how do you define the perimeter? Oh, well, there's a fence over there, so that's the perimeter. Can somebody get a shot off from outside the fence that could kill the former president? Yeah. Oh, maybe we ought to include that in the security perimeter. Maybe that'd be a great idea. Oh, there's a fence there. Like, that's the... Nobody would shoot through a fence, Bruce. Of course not, until they do. So this is such incompetence. And again, I go back to what I said earlier about lack of faith in our institutions. Am I the only one who thinks that the staggering level of incompetence here is such that, for instance, this kid flew a drone over the rally site an hour before Trump took the stage. Now, if you went to the Trump rally in Delaware, what was it, a couple summers ago? When did you arrive? Did you squeeze in there in the last hour? Like an hour before the Trump rally, the Delaware County Fairgrounds was abandoned? Nobody there? Or were you there hours ahead of time, partying, waving your flag, selling merch, getting food, listening to the rock music, getting a good seat? He flew a drone over the rally an hour before Trump took the stage. How is that possible? He also has 3 encrypted accounts through gaming platforms or this, that, or the other. This is not just some 20-year-old loser kid living in the basement of his parents' house. Okay, the staggering level of incompetence that he can get that close, that he can get up on a roof while people on the ground are filming him and screaming, hey, there's a guy on the roof with a gun. And a police officer looks at him and he rides his bike that he had in a van parked nearby with a bomb in the van. He gets on the roof with a remote detonator, a rifle. Call me skeptical that the Secret Service could be that staggeringly incompetent. I just don't believe. I believe Reagan was right when he said the 9 most dangerous words are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. But how do you design a security plan this bad? Unless, as my wife always says, if it doesn't make sense, it makes sense. We are still talking about, we are watching, I can go home right now, flip on my TV, pull up Amazon Prime or Netflix or whatever, and I can watch 20 documentaries on the JFK assassination. 20, at least 40 probably. If Trump had been killed in this assassination attempt, it looks like we would have been headed for the same exact thing. We can't get clarity in the era of HD cameras, aerial surveillance, where everything, everywhere is on camera. This 20-year-old kid can get up on top of the roof and get off 8 shots at a president and people who show up. Oh, it was too hot on the roof, Bruce. That's why they had a sniper up there. It was too hot. Really? It was too hot? You check the weather report for Butler, Pennsylvania at 6 o'clock 2 Saturdays ago. You know what the temperature was? Oh, a scorching 76 degrees. A scorching 7. Yeah, but it was a hot 76, Bruce. And the roof was sloped. Sure it was. A rock got in my shoe. Dog ate my homework. I mean, this is just incomprehensible.
Storm around this afternoon, high 87. A thunderstorm possible this evening, otherwise clouds and humid tonight, low 66. Thunderstorm in spots tomorrow morning, otherwise cloudy, high 84. And then sunny, pleasant, nice day Friday, less humid, the high at 82. Sunshine, terrific day on Saturday, high 86. Sun and clouds on Sunday, high Sunday at 86. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
In my role, all my interactions with
Hey, Joe, I thought you were retired.
Violence has to be treated as unacceptable.
Office, correct?
I'm really not familiar with
Or place a
Justice Department that has consistently been followed. Information related to that we need aid for quite.
Iran was threatening President Trump's life.
So I want to be a little bit careful here, not to talk about specific class. It is unacceptable, and that's the way we look at it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Like if something bad happened, you'd have to go brief President Biden about it right now. God forbid.
And on any number of occasions, I have briefed the president.
The pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free now on Sumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/sumo.
You want your child to become all that he or she can be, but you are dissatisfied with the current public education system. At Heart of Ohio Classical Academy Dublin campus, your child will receive a top-quality classical education based on the curriculum of the Hillsdale College's K-12 program, and it's tuition-free for everyone. For more information on how to enroll your child or to register for a parent info event, visit dublinclassical.com today. That's dublinclassical.com. Heart of Ohio, tuition-free, where students learn how to think. dublinclassical.com.
Join me, Dennis Prager, on an unforgettable Bible cruise to the Caribbean, November 29th to December 8th, 2024. Imagine 9 days of basking in the sun, surrounded by the stunning beauty of a tropical paradise. Amid profound conversations, I'll share about the Bible and my insights into current events in a way that I believe you will really enjoy. Secure your spot on this once-in-a-lifetime adventure by calling 855-565-5519 or booking online at PragerBibleCruise.com.
Are you ready to lose weight but not sure where to start? Let me tell you why I chose a PhD weight loss and nutrition. First, Dr. Ashley Lucas has her PhD in chronic disease and sports nutrition. The program is science-based. The PhD program starts with nutrition, but is so much more. They know that 90% of permanent change comes from the mind, and they work on eliminating the reason you gained this weight in the first place. There are no shortcuts, no pills, no scary injections, just solid science-based nutrition and behavior change. And finally, I lost 42 pounds and I haven't gained a pound back. PhD has a lifelong maintenance plan. If you are ready to lose weight for the last time, call 864-644-1900 to get started. Or online at myphdweightloss.com. Do what I did, what hundreds of my listeners have done. Call today. That's 865-644-1900.
What motivated me to join AmeriCorps Vista was really just being able to give back to the community which I represent.
People all over the country join AmeriCorps Vista to help communities overcome poverty.
It allows me to explore a lot of different things, and I don't think that I'd be able to do that with a regular job.
Learn how you can build your community and your career at AmeriCorps.gov/Vista.
Sleeping well? If not, MyPillow.com can fix that issue. Whether it is a lumpy mattress, they sell mattresses at MyPillow.com. They sell mattress toppers at MyPillow.com. Maybe it's scratchy sheets with those annoying little linty balls. No, Giza Dream Bed Sheets can take care of that. They are on sale right now. $59.98 for a queen size set, $69.98 for a for a king size set. And then, of course, nobody can sleep on a pillow that collapses on you in the middle of the night, that gets hot and you have to turn it over and wake up to find the cool side. No, not a problem with the queen size MyPillow, which is on sale right now for $25. Other items on sale for $25 as well. Slippers, slides. Got to run out and get the newspaper and take the dog for a walk, run out to the car. You don't want to put your shoes on. You got to bend over, tie them. Wouldn't it be nice to have an affordable pair of slippers or slides from MyPillow.com? Sure it would. So check it out, mypillow.com and use my promo code Bruce for the lowest pricing. mypillow.com, promo code Bruce. We have entered the preening and stupid portion of the questioning of FBI Director Chris Wray with Hank Johnson, the Democrat who thought that Guam might sink into the ocean if too many people stood on one side of the island, and Steve Cohen of Tennessee, whose brain apparently has a terminal cold from his lack of hair. Also, Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz sometimes is really good at this kind of stuff, and sometimes Matt Gaetz is insufferable. So I'll try and duck in top of the hour and get you a few highlights from the testimony of Christopher Wray. Here's Jim Jordan, who's a really good questioner, but he doesn't have nearly enough time to question because of the stupid format where everybody's limited to 5 minutes. Here's Jim Jordan questioning Chris Wray just moments before Mr. Watch Out Guam Might Be Sinking, Hank Johnson, took the stage.
Director, when did the FBI learn that Iran was threatening President Trump's life?
So I want to be a little bit careful here, not to talk about specific classified information, but we have been for quite some time, and I'll stick with what's in the open record. We, for some time, and I in particular for some time, have been calling out the efforts by the Iranian government to attempt to retaliate for the killing of Soleimani by going after current or former prominent U.S. officials, and we've even had an indictment against it. And I think that we need to recognize the brazenness of the Iranian regime, including right here in the United States. And I expect that we're going to see more of it, and I expect there'll be more coming on that. I'm not aware of any threat information related to protectees that wasn't, passed in a timely way, but I can't really get into specifics here.
All right. So here would be an idea I would have. When Donald Trump holds an outdoor rally, maybe put bulletproof glass up in front of the rally, like above his head, high enough, maybe 8 feet high, so nobody could shoot over it and hit him. No. Might sound like a good idea to you. It's not a good idea to the Secret Service, which yesterday, actually not even yesterday, it was last night, requested that Donald Trump not hold any more outdoor rallies. What? Gee, there wouldn't be an ulterior motive there, would there? Donald Trump, who packs outdoor rallies with what? 20, 30,000 people? Fairly routinely. He's going to have another rally today in North Carolina. No, they want him to hold rallies indoors, like Democrats do, where they draw, what did Kamala draw in Wisconsin today? 3,000? 3,000. Trump, we're not going to do our job. We're just going to ask you to move indoors. Are we sure they could protect him indoors? I don't know. Kim Cheatle had no answers for Congress yesterday, so she has, actually 2 days ago, so she has resigned. But never fear, incompetence remains undefeated as a reason for getting fired by the Biden administration. You could be incompetent presiding over the Afghanistan withdrawal if you were a general. You could be incompetent if you're Homeland Security Director Alejandro Mayorkas, incompetent on the border, incompetent supervising the Secret Service. You can be incompetent if you're Xavier Becerra as Education Secretary. You can be incompetent if you're Jennifer Granholm as Energy Secretary. You can be incompetent if you're Pete Buttigieg as Transportation Secretary, and you are insulated from being fired. And Kim Cheatle was not fired for incompetence. She was allowed to resign, which, of course, will preserve her government pension. And here's Joe Biden saying, what? Kim Cheatle's done the right thing. She did a terrible job not protecting the Republican nominee for president. We must do better. We must strive to do better. Is that a statement? No, here's his statement. President press release said this: Kim Cheatle has selflessly dedicated and risked her life to protect our nation throughout her career in the United States Secret Service. We especially thank her for answering the call to lead the Secret Service during our administration, and we are grateful for her service to our family as a leader It takes honor, courage, and incredible integrity to take full responsibility for an organization tasked with one of the most challenging jobs in public service. Okay. Again, incompetence remains undefeated. Here for a more realistic take on Kim Cheatle's appearance before Congress is former FBI agent Bobby Chacon.
I think she was in damage control mode. I think she knows that her agency made huge mistakes, both in the planning of this. The planning was poor. There was a poor plan, and then they executed it even worse. So I think there's a lot of blame to go around the Secret Service and who planned this and how they executed it. And so she was completely in damage control mode, and she wanted to hold on to her job. But she went about it the exact opposite way she should. She was kind of thumbing her nose at Congress, not providing any information, and that was obviously a mistake. They work for the American people, and the American people should know this information. She should have been as transparent as possible. She should have supplied Congress with the documents in advance that they requested, and then she should have been much more forthcoming during her testimony.
So the planning was bad, and the execution was bad. But other than that, how did you like the play, Mrs. Lincoln? How bad was it? Here's video released yesterday. I told you about it earlier. Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley. It's body cam footage of a Secret Service agent and a local police officer standing over the dead body of the shooter, talking about what they knew about him prior to him getting off 8 shots from an AR-15 at Donald Trump, one of which hit Trump, one of which killed Corey Comparator, 2 more of which hit other people at that rally and wounded them. These are the cops talking on the roof, standing over the shooter's dead body minutes after what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania.
So this is the guy that
yes, Beaver County sniper team sent the pictures out. This is him. That's the sniper that sent the original pictures and seen him come from the bike and set the butt back down and then lost sight of him. Okay. He's the one that sent the pictures out. I don't know if you got the same ones I did.
I think I did, yeah. He's like got his glasses on.
So we had the picture of
that. I got that.
Okay, and then this is his bike with the stuff. And our sniper seen him walking away from that, I believe.
Okay.
But he would be right inside that window. He's the one that physically seen this, sent the pictures, and called it out.
Okay.
So they're confirming that everything that we've heard, that they had eyes on the shooter before he got the shots off, was true, that they were looking for him. And you say, okay, well, the kid was slippery and he got away from him and they couldn't find him and he got up on the roof. What is Trump doing on the stage? You have someone who has been identified as a suspicious person. He's got a rifle bag. He's got a bicycle and a backpack. Abandoned. Where is he? We can't find him. Would it be a good idea to keep the president off the stage? Yeah, but they didn't. Here's John Malice, who was a witness to the shooting.
Definitely wasn't secure. I'm actually ex-military. One of the first things I noticed when we walked up, I'm like, none of us have been vetted. We're all along the fence. We all have view of the stage. We could see Trump.
So he was watching the rally from outside the perimeter, outside the fence, a chain link fence. Wouldn't matter if it's a chain link fence or a board fence. The guy's on the roof. He's above the fence line. But this guy, they said they could see Trump plain as day from 100 yards away. And he's ex-military. And he's like, oh, this doesn't look right. And it wasn't right. Staggering level of incompetence.
This is Josh Pick with Aptus Wealth Management. The U.S. and the world have certainly changed a lot in the last few years. We're facing money dangers that we haven't seen in a long time, maybe ever. Inflation continues to be a problem. Interest rate increases have made purchases like cars and homes seemingly impossible for some, and retirement looks like a scary proposition. For many, it appears to be a dire situation and has left them paralyzed and fearful. We are not helpless, and there are ways to gain back control. At Aptus, we help our clients navigate the labyrinth of retirement planning and educate them on how to make appropriate choices for their individual situation. Whether you have never met with a fiduciary investment advisor before, or you just want a second opinion, we're here to help. Call our office today at 614-917-1040 and learn how a cost-free complimentary meeting may be the key to putting your money to work and your mind at ease. And don't forget to listen to the Aptus Blueprint Radio Show Friday evenings at 6, Saturday afternoons at noon, or call our office today at 614-917-1040.
Find us at 989theanswer.com. Download our apps. Stream us 24/7. WTOH and WTOH HD1, Upper Arlington, Columbus.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Biden will address the nation tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern about his decision not to seek a second term. White House correspondent Greg Clugston with a report.
On Sunday, the president posted a letter online announcing that he was dropping out of the 2024 race. Tonight, in a speech from the Oval Office, he will explain to the country more about his historic decision, which has upended the presidential race. The address will also be forward-looking. In a White House statement, the president said he will use the primetime address to talk about what lies ahead and how he will finish the job for the American people. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Also at townhall.com, House Speaker Mike Johnson says Republicans are ready for President Trump to win the White House back from the Biden-Harris administration.
This election will be about policies and not personalities, and we are delighted to line up the record of President Trump against the Biden-Harris record. It's very clear where we're going. So we're in unprecedented, very challenging times as a country because of the weak leadership out of the White House.
House Majority Leader Steve Scalise says Harris is responsible for the biggest failure of this administration. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu speaking before Congress today in hopes of bolstering U.S. support for continuing Israel's fight against Hamas and other adversaries. But Netanyahu's speech comes as the Biden administration is urging him to focus on closing a deal, ending the devastating 9-month war in Gaza. Salt Lake City formally awarded the 2034 Winter Olympics following a vote by the International Olympic Committee in Paris. The decision gives Utah its second games after hosting in 2002. Salt Lake City was the lone contender the Olympic Committee was considering for 2034. Stocks are lower, the Dow off 339 points, the Nasdaq is down 500. More at townhall.com.
Humid, a blend of sunny clouds, thunderstorm around this afternoon, high 87. A thunderstorm possible this evening, otherwise clouds and humid tonight, low 66. Thunderstorm in spots tomorrow morning, otherwise cloudy, high 84. And then sunny, pleasant, nice day Friday, less humid, the high at 82. Sunshine, terrific day on Saturday, high 86. Sun and clouds on Sunday, high Sunday at 86. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flop Line with your host Rick Hughes every Sunday morning at 8 here on 98.9 FM, The Answer. The Flop Line describes a main line of resistance in your soul built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flop Line with Rick Hughes, Sunday mornings at 8, right here on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
With SRN Sports, I'm Jason Walker. A lot of baseball action Tuesday night. We'll get right to it. First off, in the senior circuit, a pair of shutouts, San Diego over Washington.
Thanks for watching today. We have to stream hour number 2 on the Bruce Hooley Show Facebook page and the 989 The Answer Facebook page. So you can join us there, or I'll post snippets of it later on tonight on Twitter. Thank you so much for being with us, and hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks.
Texas over the White Sox.